Everything just changed for the Houston Rockets offense as this new update shows that it's scary hours for any team that's not named the Houston Rockets because Alperen Şengün has been putting the work in this offseason. It's going to change what this roster's offense is going to look like for the 2025-2026 NBA season. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rockets Digest. I am your host, Donovan Ricondo. We're going to get into things today, talking about Alperen Şengün and what he's been doing with his offseason workouts, all the things that he's been working on this season, and what he is specifically getting better at that can make this team go to the next level. More so than we already are with the KD trade. We just signed some of our roster bench guys to our roster for next season. VanVleet as well as signing that extension. So what is the other good news we got? It is this right here. We are going to go to another quote from Kelly Iko, who has done an extraordinary job covering the Houston Rockets this entire offseason, who says, quote, they're saying he's getting, Alperen Şengün, a lot more comfortable taking and making threes. I think that's one of the biggest things for Houston to enhance that half-court stuff. Keeping tabs on him and seeing, obviously, if he can hit a trail three on the fast break in the 4-on-3, 3-on-2, it's going to open up a lot of things for everyone else. So just getting him more comfortable spacing the floor, I think that's going to be a big part. End quote. Now, this is a key development in Alperen Şengün's game. He has not been known to be a fantastic three-point shooter, which, didn't necessarily have to be, right? He is a center in the NBA. Although, of course, as we know, centers in the NBA have changed drastically in just the past, 10 to 15 years. But that three-point shot is something that has been more consistent with big guys in the NBA. And so if Alperen Şengün can transition himself to still be that fundamental big that we need down low, getting rebounds and posting up and making moves over there in the paint. But if he can extend his game to the three-point line, this opens up a lot of opportunities with the Houston Rockets' offense, especially now that we have Kevin Durant, another reliable scorer on this team. Now, I do want to point out, some of Alperen Şengün's stats. His three-point percentage, of course, has not been, fantastic. 24, 33, 29, 23. Not known for that. And so if he can make this next step, I would shoot for, something along the lines of a 35% three-point percentage. Not a lot of volume of three-point shots I don't expect for him to make necessarily, but, have like 2 or 3 per game that can be key to putting us over and, give us comfortable leads down the stretch, I think is what is the goal in this, right? He's not going to come out being, KD from the 3 or, he's not going to be in the three-point contest next year by any means. But at the same time, doing the little things that gave us the competitive advantages down the line. Now, Kelly Iko mentioned something about transition, right? It opens a lot of things in our transition game, which this is the rankings of transition offense in the NBA last season. The Houston Rockets are right in the middle of the pack. There's more teams below that, but I highlighted them for you down right there. They ranked 15th out of 30 teams in the regular season in their transition offense. They only had about 21 points in transition, which is something that they, quite frankly, is something that they need to improve upon next season. As we saw with a lot of playoff teams, they have a really good transition offense, especially the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, who we all know went to the NBA Finals last year. So when I look at things that the Houston Rockets can improve upon, it's this transition offense. As you see some of the stats here, 23 points in our transition offense throughout those 82 games last year. That's 21% or 21 possessions of basketball. And so, when you look at number one, you see 28.6% of possessions that the Grizzlies had were all in transition. As we know, the Grizzlies play a very, very fast-paced game. It, quite worked out really well for them throughout the entire regular season before their implosion towards the end there, firing their head coach as well. But that is a very key thing that the Rockets are going to have to fix this offseason. And it all starts with a guy like Alperen Şengün. Yes, having KD is beneficial to that. It can help out with that. but to have Alperen Şengün, deliberately going out and doing this and working on his 3-point shot to, better not only himself down the line, but also the team is a very helpful sign in terms of what this offense can do and accomplish next season. It's going to be a very big year for Alperen Şengün. I mean, last year he himself had a fairly, you can arguably say, was his best all-around year in his career so far. 19 points per game, his second most in his young career. 10.3 rebounds, his most in his career. 4.9 assists, 0.8 blocks, 1 steal per game. Limited turnovers to 2.6, which is, fairly well. 49% from the field as well. Again, he is 22. He is very, very young. He is still developing. He is still working on his game. Like we said, this three-point shot is going to take a few more times. It's not just going to be a one off-season thing. He's not going to be, Steph Curry next year. But at the same time, to add that weapon to his game, to add something that he knows for a fact is going to be beneficial on any team he plays. Hopefully he stays a Houston Rocket for a long time, but he knows that a three-point shot is now key if you're going to be a big man in the NBA. Not necessary, but if you want to play a lot, then definitely for sure. So it's great to see him work on that as well. It's going to be a big year for him because it's year 5 of his career. Now he's already signed a contract. He'll be on the team for a few more years, but year 5 is a real proving ground for a lot of NBA players, right? Year 5 is indicative of what kind of success they're going to have moving forward. And I do think with the addition of KD, it just means that we're going to have a bigger year for Alperen Şengün. He's going to get all that more opportunities to learn from a scorer like Kevin Durant. And so to see that and see him, taking the steps in that direction, as expected, right? Alperen Şengün, as we all know, is a fundamental assassin, right? With his footwork and the way he's able to use his body and his passing. Oh my goodness, his passing is what I think sets him apart from a lot of the other big men in the league, besides, Nikola Jokic, right? There's a reason why they call Alperen Şengün Baby Jokic, Big Turk, some would say. But it is going to be something that, if he can unlock this, right? If he can really get a good grasp of it next season, this offense completely expands. Because I kind of briefly mentioned yesterday, the duo of having KD and Alperen Şengün running the pick and roll, to me is a cheat code. To me is something that is going to be a significant advantage for the Houston Rockets. But if you add transition into that, right? You have Alperen Şengün who can be a threat, trailing that transition and be able to knock down that three is going to be huge. But at the same time, he is also a fantastic passer. He can find anybody that cuts if that shot is not open. He's going to have KD, probably on the wing there as well, or probably possibly leading that drive, leading those steals, considering his length and its ability to obtain steals. But it's going to be something that I think is just going to unlock this team. Our offensive rating last year, not terrible, but to be the championship team that we want to be, that is going to be the next thing we are going to unlock, is figuring out how this offense is all going to operate. With the loss of Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks, you lose some of that offensive output. So you have to make that up somewhere. Some say Tari Eason can do that in terms of Dillon Brooks. Kevin Durant will obviously be able to do that in terms of Jalen Green. But also you have to fill in the other pieces. There still needs to be that development with those other players. And it all starts with the main guy of your young core. Now with Jalen Green gone, there is no question. Alperen Şengün is the young star of this team. He is the mold that is going to be on this team, hopefully, for the next, 5-7 years at the very least, right? And so for him to take these steps and for him to unlock this piece of his game is only going to make this team's offense all that much better, and is realistically, right, going to put us in a position to win those playoff games. Go heading into the Golden State Warriors series, we all knew that there was going to be some sort of struggle with offense, especially the way that Golden State plays defense, with Draymond Green being out there and Steve Kerr heading that defensive scheme. They were able to lock down a guy like Jalen Green, not necessarily Alperen Şengün, but at the same time, right, learning to adapt to those defensive schemes is something that starts now in the offseason. It's going to start right now. He knows that he's open on these transition trails and that he can score off of them if he works and develops this three-pointer. And so the fact that he is deliberately doing that is a great sign, and it quite frankly has me excited to get the season started. We're a few months away. Summer league starts, so have that to look forward to. But at the same time, I'm very excited to see what Alperen Şengün decides to do for himself, for this team, and where this team ends up, and how it does, playing with all each other in the first few games of this season and the first months or so. So let me know about what you think about this new update. Where do you rank Alperen Şengün in our lineup in terms of how much points per game he's going to receive next year? I think we're looking at somewhere 23, 24 points I think he can get scoring this year. That's my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think of yours. And as always, thank you so much for joining us. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead, hit that button below. We're covering all your updates on this channel. Rockets Digest, we have you covered. All right, we'll see you next time on the next episode. Take care.